I've been saying this for most of the season, and I'm going to say it again. Phil Foden has been Manchester City's best player this season, and I think now we can even start arguing the fact that he's probably one of the best players in the world currently, just going off of the season that he's had, because the performances that he's been giving game in, game out, the goal contributions, the contributions to the team winning games, Phil Foden has been all over that. He has been the shining light for Manchester City this season, and he just keeps proving it game after game after game after game. Whenever Manchester City needs someone to carry the team, to give them a fighting chance in whatever match it is, Phil Foden is there. When you need a goal, Phil Foden is there. When you need an assist, Phil Foden is there. When you need someone to contribute something, to give you that creative edge in the attack, Phil Foden is there. We've seen it do it for Everton. We've seen him do it in Champions League. We've seen it do it again now in probably one of the biggest games that we're going to have considering the title race. Like in a Manchester derby, you see Phil Foden scoring a brace to get Manchester City. Now, firstly, the first goal to get us back into the game, and then the second goal to take us ahead in the game, making it 2-1 on the scoreline at the time. And this is the type of season that we needed from someone like Phil Foden. We've heard of the talent that Phil Foden has. We've heard of the talent. We've seen the talent week in, week out. We had seen the talent for many years. We know the type of player that he could have been. And obviously with the speculations constantly over the fact that will he be a part, like a system player? Will he just be someone who contributes to the titles that Manchester City have won? This season, he's shown that he is the main guy. And you look at that game, it's a Manchester derby, Manchester City versus Manchester United. Look at the quality of players on that pitch. Everyone is back for Manchester City. Kevin De Bruyne was there. Erling Haaland was there. Bernardo Silva was there. Rodri's there. Who's the person who stepped up for Manchester City today? It was Phil Foden. Phil Foden was the person who showed that he is the guy right now for this team. He's the one who stepped up and showed that he is the best player for Manchester City this season. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to MKB. Welcome back to Mellow Nose Ball. And obviously, you can already tell that I'm psyched. I'm psyched about what happened. I'm psyched to see what Phil Foden has done for this team once again this season. I think this will take him close to 28 goal contributions this season already. And we were raving about Jude Bellingham having a Ballon d'Or season. I mean, I know it's a bit crazy to say, but I think Phil Foden is also on the same amount of goal contributions as Jude Bellingham at the moment. So I'm just saying, if you want to talk about numbers, if you want to talk about performances, if you want to talk about contribution to the team, I'm just saying. But let's just go over the game, right? Let's just quickly go over the game, Obviously, Manchester City coming in with the momentum of just winning in that losing game in the FA Cup, winning like 6-2 or whatever was the scoreline, right? So obviously coming to this game with a lot of momentum, and Manchester United weren't really coming in with the same type of momentum, and considering the fact that they had just lost against Fulham, right? So they weren't really coming in with the best momentum against Manchester City. And although historically, we all know how Manchester derbies can sometimes go. Somebody just need those moments of brilliance, and then Manchester United win. And that's what you kind of thought was going to happen this time around, considering that beautiful screamer that was scored by Marcus Rashford. What a moment of brilliance, a moment of quality from Marcus. I've given my fair share of stick to Marcus Rashford, I have my qualms with him. I have my issues with him, you know what I'm saying? But one thing I will always admit about Marcus Rashford is that he's a quality player. There is a quality player within Marcus Rashford. I don't know why I say it like that. But there is a quality player in him. He is there. There's a reason why people were starting to compare him to like Kylian Mbappe. Maybe the comparison was a bit crazy, but there's a reason why. Because when he's on it, he's on it. And obviously in this game, he showed you a moment of brilliance with that unbelievable goal. And realistically, I think at that point, it was the first 8 minutes. Obviously, Manchester City kind of came out guns blazing already, like in the first couple of minutes. Like that's how you expected Manchester City season to kind of go, really. Just control the tempo of the game, have possession, everything like that. But then one amazing pass from Onana, finds Bruno Fernandes, lays it off to Marcus Rashford, and the rest was history after that. The goal was brilliant. The goal was amazing. Like, I gotta give him, like, if it wasn't for that Garnacho goal, that's the type of goal you kind of look at and be like, that could be a goal of a season contender right there. You know what I'm saying? But you go into the rest of the game really, like, Man United was doing pretty well defensively. They were being really solid. They weren't really adventurous. They were kind of like making sure that Manchester City weren't really creating chances. They were really solid in terms of how they set themselves up against Manchester City in this game, and that you just showed the amount of chances. I think at this point in the game, Manchester City had like 17 shots in the game, and they didn't even have, I think, only one or two shots on targets, and everything else really wasn't. So at this point, you're looking at the game, and you're like, you know what, Manchester United set themselves very well. They were doing very well to prevent Manchester City from doing anything in the game. And I think in the first half, realistically, there's only one really solid chance that we got, and it was by Erling Haaland. And when he missed that chance, I think he had an open net essentially. He essentially had an open net, and instead of trying to head it in, he tried to kick it in, and it didn't work out for him. And the fact that he missed that, it really makes me question the clinicality of Erling Haaland. Because especially this season, his clinical ability hasn't been the very best. But yeah, that's a story for a different day. Then the match carries on to the point where we see, obviously, first half ends 1-0. Man United obviously did well. I think in the second half, Man United actually tried to start playing football. They actually tried to control the game a bit more. They were starting to actually try and get into the game. However, once they started doing that, spaces started opening up, and then that's when Manchester City started taking chances. And then Phil Foden on the right hand side gets the ball, cuts inside, left foot curler, top bins, 1-1 already, just like that. Beautiful quality, loved it. Jeremy Doku comes off, Julian Alvarez comes into the game, right? Couple minutes passes, Julian Alvarez gets the ball, drives with it into the box, or into the Manchester United box, squares it for Phil Foden. Phil Foden gets the ball on his left foot, shoots bottom corner, dodgy goalkeeping, but hey, makes it 2-1 for Manchester City. And again, I can't speak enough about Foden. I can't speak enough about Phil Foden. Obviously, we know Erling Haaland gets that goal in 90th minute to make it 3-1. That's essentially sealing the game, right? But I just don't know what I'm running out of adjectives for this player right now, because in my own personal definition, right, when I want to define what a world-class player is, there are a couple of things I need to look at to define someone as a world-class player. I look at aspects such as the ability that they have, right? Just being a footballer. How good are you at being a footballer, right? I look at that. I look at the contribution to your team. What do you contribute to the team? How much do you impact the team? Like how much do you impact the team winning? How much like trophies you contribute to helping the team win? I look at aspects like that, right? There's a lot of different aspects. Even the magnitude of the team, right? You look at the team, like obviously you can be balling out, but you can be balling out for like Luton Town, right? Sometimes I can't exactly say you're a world class player, but then you look at like a team like Manchester City with the amount of class players, of technically gifted players, and you still find a way to stand out in a team like that. That's something I need to look at to contribute to consider you as a world class player, right? I look at moments of brilliance. When your team needs you the most, are you stepping up for your team? When you're a goal down, when you need a goal to possibly win you a game, when you need something to be done, so someone to create, are you there? And these are the multiple aspects you look at when you look at a world-class player. And when I'm looking at Phil Foden this season, he's having a world-class player season the way that I'm looking at right now. Now, am I saying he's a world-class player? No. I'm not saying that just yet. Still too early. Still young. I think he still needs to perform at this level more consistently. This exact level that he's performing at right now, I think he still needs to do it a lot more consistency. But when I'm looking at the season itself, he's having a world-class player season. and I'm here for it. I am here for it. It is brilliant to see him perform at the level that he's performing at. But then looking at the other side of Manchester, when I look at Manchester United today, besides that goal from Marcus Rashford, no one else really stepped up. Garnacho was pretty quiet. Bruno Fernandes, I can't even mention what he did for you. Casemiro had a decent game. To be fair, Onana had a really good game, especially in that first half. I thought Onana had a really good game. He had a brilliant game, to be honest. Like, not, I wouldn't say brilliant, but definitely one of his best performances in that first half I've ever seen for Onana have, right? I thought he played really well. Obviously, by the end of the game, he had conceded 3, but I look at 2 of those goals and really what else can you do for those 2? I thought the second goal from Foden, maybe he could have done better, but hey, the game's the game, you know. But I just, no one else really performed well for me. Like, yes, I think Varane also had a solid game, especially in that first. I thought he was really decent. But I was just looking at that game, I mean, Kobe Mainu again was okay, but even when Amrabat came into the game, he was kind of the reason why they scored the second and the third goal. I look at Anthony. When Anthony came on, I don't know what he did. He didn't really do. I didn't understand that decision by Eric Ten Hag when he substituted Rashford for Anthony. Like, that didn't make sense to me. Like, if anyone's going to give you another moment, it's probably Rashford, right? I don't get why would you put someone like Anthony in a game like that. Didn't make sense to me. That, again, just have to keep questioning Eric Ten Hag and his decision making in games like this. But okay. This was an important game for Manchester City, considering the month that we're about to have. We have Liverpool at Anfield next in the Premier League, so that's going to be a very tough game. We all know the record we have at Anfield. We know the team they are. We know that they're another team in this title race. So this was a must-win game for Manchester City. This was a must-win game, especially considering how the run of games we're going to have now. So I'm very happy to see us win this game because we definitely needed it. Now we just need to carry on with this momentum. We're having a good run of games so far. We've won a couple of games, you know what I'm saying? So hopefully this momentum keeps going and we go on those runs. And like I said, if we can make it out of March, I think then we have a good shot of winning the Premier League this season. But March is a big defining season for us. So, yeah. So I want you guys to comment down below on what you guys think on firstly Phil Foden season. I want to hear what people think of our Phil Foden season so far. And comment down below again who you guys think is going to win this Premier League race, because already we saw Liverpool winning in the last minute. Then we see Manchester City doing what they're doing against Manchester United. Obviously, we still have Arsenal to play against Sheffield, so we're still going to see how that's going to go. But the title race, man, comment down below who you think is going to win. And yeah, like this video, subscribe to the channel, hit that bell for any post notifications. And yeah, we out.